The most expensive house in the world, Antilia. To the common ear, hearing about the most expensive house in the world automatically translates into a royal mansion owned by a crown family, with ancestral rule running over centuries and nowhere near an end. Look at Buckingham Palace. It has a construction history dating back to 1703, and the beautiful mansion still hasn't lost its charm. Buckingham Palace is worth about $5 billion. However, the palace is owned by the crown. It's not privately owned. So then, what is the world's most expensive privately owned residence? Today, we'll be taking you through the most expensive privately owned house in the world. This extravagant building is called Antilia, or should I say, the Antilia. Situated in the heart of the poverty-stricken country India, the building is no less than a national monument. Its magnificent construction inside and out, garnished with all sorts of amenities, shouts its worth from every corner. But before we dig deeper, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then click the bell. That way you'll be notified every day when we post a new video. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Now on to the most expensive home in the world. This expensive property is owned by Mukesh Ambani, the fourth richest person in the world, whose net worth is about $80.4 billion as of 2020. The man is a business tycoon in India running the well-known Reliance Industries, worth $13.61 billion. The flourishing company in its golden era is way ahead of its target, as stated by Mr. Ambani himself. Recently, the company experienced a massive spike in one of its public investment sectors, breaking several records and touching new highs. Unlike for others, this year seems to be quite lucky for the billionaire. It's not every day you hear someone name their house unless it's someone as rich as Mr. Ambani. Even when we do, it's usually Tom's residence. Nothing close to Antilia. This unique, classy name is the result of Mr. Ambani's inspiration towards the Antilia Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. It was a phantom island that once appeared on the maps during the 15th century near the coast of Spain, but later disappeared. Nonetheless, it left its name for the Spanish Antilles, a famous chain of islands, and the Ambani Tower. Well, other than the original name, Antilia, the expensive property, has been given tons of other names for its beauty, architecture, lavishness, and comfort. One of the mentionable names is the Blade Runner meets Babylon edifice, given by the New York Times, but you can call it whatever you want. Initially, the Almost Palace was rumored to be constructed next to a straitened slum, but to our absolute expectation, those rumors proved wrong. The spectacular tower is located in South Mumbai on Altamont Road, which itself is one of the most expensive streets in the country, costing more than $1,000 per square foot. Needless to say, it's home to many other rich Indians as well. You can expect to see some of the most enviable residences in this area. However, building such a magnificent skyscraper in a country where more than half of the population lives on less than $2 a day brought severe criticism that we'll talk about towards the end of the video. The huge mansion that can easily accommodate hundreds of people is inhabited only by a few. Mr. and Mrs. Ambani with their 3 children are the only people living in this glassy, shiny palace. Mrs. Ambani gave the surprising news of Antilia being their only home on the planet, which is quite unlikely for such ultra-rich people. But well, not everyone owns the most expensive private home in the world either. According to Forbes, Antilia costs somewhere between $1 and $2 billion, so it comes in second after Buckingham Palace, which stands in the first spot with a value of almost $5 billion. After all, how little could we expect the world's second most expensive property to cost? The enormity and architecture alone justify the price, forgetting the inside. If you think those $2 billion gave Mr. Ambani a peaceful residence for a lifetime, think again. That's the mere cost of the house without staff, utility, and other maintenance expenses. So you might want to roll several digits to a higher value to get the total cost of living in this super expensive home. The mansion is not the work of any local builder. Of course, one could not risk $2 billion. Hence, like any rational, extra-rich human, Mr. Ambani hired the best architects and builders present in the international market. He contracted with Hirsch Bender Associates and Perkins and Will for architectural consultation. For construction, Mr. Ambani went with the Australian company Leighton Contractors. Although they remain the main builders, for some unknown reason the building was completed by a local construction company called the B.E. Billamoria & Company Limited. The construction started in 2006 and was completed in 2010. During that whole time and onward, there was not a single word about the mansion's interior. Mr. Ambani kept everything from chandeliers to their plan of moving in completely confidential. Any person that ever set foot inside this beautiful mansion before its unveiling was silenced. The building covers a land area of about 400,000 square feet. This expensive house contains everything from a car repair shop to an amphitheater. What more could you possibly need? Everything inside this magnificent mansion is as rare as Mr. Ambani's safe combination. This spectacular house features unique marble, wood, crystal, pearls, and mother-of-pearls. According to Mrs. Ambani, the mansion's design symbolizes the sun and the lotus, which shows their fondness towards nature. She also added that Antilia is the perfect combination of modern architecture and the Indian spirit. Antilia has 27 floors, with no two floors alike. Each floor has a height of a two-story building, measuring about 42 feet. Unlike normal buildings that have a floor-to-floor height of about 10 to 14 feet. Such construction makes this 27-story building look like a 50 to 60-floor building, giving it a total height of about 568 feet. That's the height over the surface only. There's a 6-story underground parking lot as well. This tall structure stands to be the country's 38th tallest building and 35th in the city of Mumbai. Imagine standing at the top of this building and the vastness of land your eyes can take in from there. The interesting part is that the prime living space of the Ambani family is at the top of the building. As stated by Mrs. Ambani, they wanted direct sunlight, which led them to live at such a height. Home elevators aren't a new concept, but 9 super-fast elevators in one home surely is. These high-speed elevators can take you to the top in a blink of an eye. Seems like the Ambanis took the quote, "time is money," a little too seriously. Although the house originally belongs to the Ambani family, there are an additional 600 people dwelling in the house 24/7. That includes the maintenance and service staff from a hairdresser to a gardener. Need anything? Just name it. The mansion also includes a spa. This isn't too surprising. Spas are common to most residential apartment buildings. But like this extravagant home, the spa too isn't anything regular. It's the most expensive spa, with everything a local spa center could only dream of. Antilia also contains several gardens. With everything else so over the top, how could we expect an ordinary garden? There's a huge, beautiful garden covered in lush grass and colorful flowers, with a special focus on lotuses. However, it seems like one garden wasn't enough. Thus, there are several terraced gardens and an exterior hanging garden as well. The grass of the hanging garden grows outside the building in a vertical position. Not only that, but the 7th floor is also completely dedicated to a full-fledged garage for maintenance and repair of cars at any time. Now hold on to your hat. Here comes the most shocking and highly controversial part of Antilia, the helipads. The roof of the building features 3 helipads, so the Ambanis don't have to deal with the traffic. According to the Indian Navy and the Indian Environmental Ministry, it's prohibited to build helipads in Mumbai. Yet, there it is in Antilia, not just 1, but 3 helipads. Antilia also has the most lavish movie theater, which houses 50 viewers at a time. It has a comfy and warm environment with cozy chairs and pillows. One can only imagine the fun of watching movies at such a comfortable and well-served palace. There's a massive ballroom embellished with crystal chandeliers covering 80% of the ceiling, which turns the room super shiny and glittery. How sparkly everything must look in there. Although the Ambanis are pure vegetarian, they have hired the best chefs from around the globe to master almost all types of food. All they need to do is name the dish and its origin, and the chefs will do the rest. Apart from the above-mentioned recreation and entertainment facilities, there's a fully equipped gym, a yoga room, an ice cream parlor, guest suites, swimming pools, a temple, and a bar. The most extraordinary thing here is the snow room. It's the best way to cope with the hot Mumbai weather. Every inch of this room is covered with ice, and the walls sprinkle snowflakes the moment someone steps into the room. So it's almost like a mini Scandinavian city within the house. After spending such a substantial part of his fortune to build the house, Mr. Ambani couldn't leave the house to the mercy of nature. Thus, apart from hiring the best security, he ensured that the mansion was strong enough to survive an 8.0 earthquake. So if the earth was to collapse, the only thing left intact would be the magnificent Antilia. We all love Home Sweet Home, and so do the Ambanis. However, their extravagant mansion didn't get much appreciation from the poverty-stricken country as it would in other rich and more stable parts of the world. There's been a lot of controversy about Antilia from the beginning, but nobody dared get in the way of the business tycoon, and if anybody did, they were smoothly cleared away. Shelling out such a large sum of money for a house to accommodate such a small family seemed ostentatious and self-centered to the suffering nation and its compassionate thinkers. People are dying of hunger, and yet such strong pillars of the nation are busy decorating their mansion. With the unveiling of Antilia, millions of Indians wrote in appreciation to Ratan Tata, who reportedly makes more money than Mukesh Ambani, but donates most of his earnings to the poor. Tata himself has shown disappointment and called out the owner of the skyscraper for his act of ignorance. Comment down below and tell us what your favorite part of Antilia is. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.